10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Wasn't going to, but I couldn't resist. Welcome, eyes are on for Terrible Damage, bringing you a joint Dota League 2 game. This is game 2 of the match. We didn't broadcast game 1, but gonna be picking up here in game 2 of this best of 2, for lack of a better term. Each game counts in the league, but you play 2 against your opponent each week. Right now, it is Naga Stole My Bike leading 1-0. I forget the other team's name as they didn't put it down. So they're just going to be the Radiant this time around. Minus armor starting to show up here. Dazzle and Shadow Fiend for Naga. Surprisingly, no Naga in the minus armor for Naga Stole My Bike. But hey, maybe they're just mad at her. I mean, she did steal their bike.
5 seconds remaining.
Radiant, though, gonna grab the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit was the mid for Naga Stole My Bike in game 1 and was quite successful as such. We also saw Timbersaw and Crystal Maiden on the side of Naga's opponents, who remain nameless. We'll see how they end up rounding this one out. Naga knowing to run the Mirana off lane. We'll see if that ends up being the choice of this game. If so, then we still need a safe lane carry and additional support. There's our safe lane carry, the Faceless Void. The Faceless Void. So this will be fun. The new changes on Faceless Void. 1,000 movement speed inside the Chronosphere and an 80-second cooldown at level 3. Very nice. Final bans here. The puck is the ban. That's a little weird. There was no room for a puck.
10 seconds remaining.
Absolutely no room for a puck. So that's a really bizarre
5 seconds remaining.
Choice in ban. Radiant side going to be looking for their hard carry.
Reserve time.
Not sure what would fit best in here. I think actually an early game kind of hero, maybe even a Viper. Doom the choice. That could also work, though. I'm not as afraid of that one. They do like the Viper choice, but we could see something more like even a safe lane farming TA. You could throw a Razor in there. I have to wait and see. Probably don't want to play the long farming game. I mean, Void already incredible if it goes long, but add in a Shadow Fiend and a Mirana to support that cast. Even though Storm Spirit and Timbersaw scale quite well, they're just not going to be able to hold up against that. So it's really, you know, the early to mid game that they're going to want to control. I think this is already looking tough. The lanes aren't the most aggressive from the Radiant. There's not a whole lot of pressure they can put on until they get some key items up. The Orchid on the Storm Spirit, Bloodstone, or at least a bit more mana going on the Timbersaw before they can start doing a whole lot. And by that point, Shadow Fiend is going to start to have some damage. But right now, they don't have the lockdown from the support. Dazzle has Poison Touch, but that's not so great. And then they're relying really on the arrow. There's no setup for the arrow. There's this Chronosphere, really, for any sort of reliable lockdown. And that's not really quite the same. Not something you throw out for a single target stun, either. Could see a Lion for Naga Stole My Bike, maybe a little greedy on the greedy side there. Rubik would work well, he's still in the pool. I think Rubik was probably the best choice. We'll see what they prefer. Waiting on the
10
Radiant's
seconds
carry
remaining.
choice.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
And they end up going with Tiny. The armor will help, but the mana, that is, the aura from Crystal Maiden will help him out. Carry also carries quite late as well, but I do feel Naga has the late game, and I'm afraid arguably the mid game as well. We'll see how it ends up playing out. The lanes maybe, but we'll see how the lanes end up playing out and how it gets going into the mid game.
Prepare for battle.
First up, let's introduce our players. First for Naga, Stole My Bike. Huey bursting out of the gates towards mid. He'll be on the Shadow Fiend, pulled 3 tangles along with that Salve Wraith Band opener. Count Jigglesworth will be on the Support Silencer this time around, headed up top. And then we'll be joined shortly by Norseman, the Nord Wizard on Dazzle. Boki will play Marana, head down towards bottom in the solo role. And then we have our Faceless Void. There he is. With the Quelling Blade, Tango, Stout Shield opener. Light on the regen, but headed up top. And here we have Timbersaw head up top. We had Swag Master for the Radiant playing the Shadow Demon. Quickly warded up that pole camp, but we'll be headed back towards bottom.
30
Moniker
seconds to
is
battle.
playing... Is that a directory in the... Moniker? A folder in the current directory? Playing the Timbersaw. In mid, we've got Arachnabot on the Storm Spirit. Down bottom, I'm a Princess, playing the Crystal Maiden. And that finally leaves, yeah, on the Tiny. Oh yeah!
The battle
As the horn
begins.
blows, and we're ready to go. Defensive tri-lanes out of each. And both offlaners going to have a decent time. There isn't great lockdown on the Marana. Very much reliant on being able to get within range for an avalanche, because you have to chain it up quite well, because she can leap immediately after the disruption. Frostbite does not prevent leap. There's some rotation ability out of Shadow Demon Crystal Maiden, but not the most bursts coming out of that combo. So it could be worse on the Shadow Fiend. Void having a good time there, it sounds. Moniker enjoying that haste rune. Jigglesworth just gonna hang around and provide some support. A little hard to smack him. Why is this close? Goes for the last word first. I mean, if they were looking for a kill, I'd like that. I think I'd prefer Glaives, though, level 1. Just, you're going to get more harass out of the right click, I think. Even though it's a Timbersaw with reactive armor, I still think it's the right click that's going to do more to avoid aggroing the creeps to you. But, sure, that'll be level 2. Keep an eye on the last hit board so far. It is Arachnabot getting the better of the early game. No surprise there, but Huey, as time goes on, those souls get up. Should be taking control of the lane in mid. Wow, this is actually double sentry warded. Oh, this sentry ward is... Okay, so it took them 2 sentry wards to figure out where it was. They thought it was over here, but then the second one is able to spot out the observer, which is around this area. There was the disruption down bottom. Boki take a lot of damage. Leap is on cooldown. Actually, jukes to the trees. That could get him in trouble. Nope. Is still able to get away. Lane going to push into the tower, which would be very nice there for the off-lane Mirana. Isn't doing the best, doing okay in levels at level 3, but Moniker having a bit more presence in the lane. Well, going to take a lot of damage, but with Timber Chain should be able to get away. And does. Going to force him back out of lane. Bottle coming out, though. Actually went for a quick bottle, so that'll help out. And we'll find a regen rune. Lucky, lucky him. However, that is going to limit... Storm Spirit normally going to want to control those runes. But up against the Shadow Fiend, it may not be a bad idea having that secondary rune control, because Shadow Fiend can clear the way faster than a Storm Spirit will.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Jigglesworth poking in. Will be spotted by the Observer Ward as he goes up. Not sure what the plan was. He is holding on to an Observer Ward right now.
Mine!
Sticks around in mid as the Invis rune is picked up down bottom. He's gonna head back in there with it. Immersaw coming up high. Able to get the first blood there on the Faceless Void.
Axe is impressed.
Getting low. Is there anything to Timber Chain to? Now there will be. He'll be just fine. He's taking his sweet time using it, though. It's very low, but will survive. Solo kill against the tri-lane. That's going to slow down what looks to be a Midas rush here out of Oops. In mid, we've got the smoke, but... Oh, a slow reaction. Actually, did not have vision. I believe the ward just ran out, and that'll be another death. Oh, they almost screw it up. Do they screw it up? Oh! The Invis rune able to get him out of there. No vision for them. The ward was there, but may have just been so ever barely out of range of that to see on the high ground where the smoke broke. And that's a fortunate break for Naga stole my bike. Timber ever a pain, going to pick up a stack now. There's nothing they can do about it. It doesn't actually clean it all up. Now starts to getting low. Norseman. Timber Chain misses. Now in a bit of trouble here. He's in way deep. Does not have level 6 to shock him out of there. Last word is down. Cuts through the trees. Hits him. Bash. Interrupts the Timber Chain. And there you go. That was a, what, 10% chance? 15% chances at level 2. Ice Frog, please. It's a 1-1 now, the score up in this top lane. There's a TP back in. Midas Recipe is out. Bullying his way back into the lane as we have Count Jigglesworth just stacking up a medium camp here, as he will be getting wards back up. And that makes life tough on Oops, who just wants to finish his Midas. 7 minutes in, skipping boots could be better. Do we have the same rush out of the Tiny? Looks like we do. Going to have to ship out that Glove of Haste to finish up the Midas. We'll have it just before Tiny as... Oops, I missed the rotation in mid as I'm paying attention to the hands of Midas, as it's the double kill in mid with the rotation. Does not help out. Moniker diving past the tower. And Midas is up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Taking a lot of damage is Oops. 2, 3, the TP in, trying to the arrow as well.
Tower is under attack.
And there you go, brings him down. Rotation out of Huey though. That was a TP up top from the Shadow Fiend, so it did cost them quite a bit. All 5 now up top. Big wave gonna look to do some damage to the tower perhaps. But Timbersaw will be back up. He'll TP top, and that's really hard to push into. Once again, taking a lot of damage. Will time walk away. Timber Chains back out, and we'll bottle up and be fine. Timber Chain through, in a lot of trouble now with the rotation. Vima Princess, Oops, should be going down here. Trying to juke his way out, but there's just no chance. Curse of the Silent throwing out. Not a whole lot of use out of these spammy heroes. This does a little bit of damage. Boki throwing out an arrow. Even if it hit, wouldn't really matter. And what's Huey got? He's got some treads. That'll help beef him up just a little bit. Both games, Naga Stole My Bike has had the greedier of the 2 drafts. Once again, having both with 2 supports that need a bit of farm and levels. And Count Jigglesworth, that'll be the end of you.
Silence.
But, Oops, still on top. Dead even with, yeah, in terms of farm. A little behind, almost dead even in levels as well. And boost up just a little bit with that Midas. 2 deaths to his name. Loki actually almost even in levels as well. Of course, not doing as well in terms of farm, but that's to be expected. Similar stories out of both sides. Across the board, pretty even in almost every regard. Slight edge for the Radiant team. But they're going to need to continue to press that. 4 heroes here, could be a sandwich. The dive behind the tower. There's the Moonlight Shadow, and that's it for Moniker. Other heroes go try and back, but there's the Chronosphere. And with the raise is going to do a lot. No, actually ends up trapping himself, but doesn't matter. Still get them both. And that's a big turnaround there for Naga Stole My Bike. Once again, a lot of heroes top for it, but 3 for 0. Definitely going their way in that trade.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tower taking a bit of damage, but will be fortunate and pick up an illusion rune. And the invis just used. A lot of damage. Could actually go down here. No, not quite. Needed one more right click. Arachnobot not respecting the amount of right click that's coming out of the Shadow Fiend at this point in the game.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Oops
attack.
grabs a ring of health. He's gonna go double greedy. Midas Battle Fury. I tend to be a fan more of Midas Maelstrom. It puts you in the similar as we look down bottom as there's a fight. Silencer pick up kill. There's 2 now. 2 for 0. The Tiny going down as well. Not able to pick up I'm a Princess, but they'll be happy with that trade. 2 for 0 once again. Up top, the dive from Moniker still going. Past tier 2. Will we have any TPs in? Chakram throwing out, not going to hit. And there's not really anything left that Moniker can do. There's a TP in, tries to get the bash, doesn't even get a right click off, unfortunately. So, not able to hold him out. I'm a Princess in a lot of trouble there. But as I was saying, Midas Maelstrom ends up being a similar cost to a Battle Fury.
Tower is under attack.
While still doing the same kind of things that Battle Fury does, helping accelerate your farm, clear waves faster, and so on. However, the advantage is that it's a bit easier to build up to. The attack speed that it gives you means more bashes for more double damage inside the Chronosphere. And if you go for
Radiant's top tower
Midas
is under
Battle
attack.
Fury, that's definitely very greedy. You're online much more slowly. I'm definitely a fan of Midas as a zip in and zip back. Midas on the Faceless Void.
Radiant's top tower is under
I think
attack.
if you're not going Midas
Dire's bottom
on Faceless
tower is
Void,
under attack.
something went wrong in the draft, basically.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
How did you get here, Swag Master?
Dire's middle
Gonna
tower
try
is
and
under
wrap
attack.
around here on mid.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Once again, have to watch for the dives up top. Oops. Oh, the Chronosphere, the baits! But the TP is into the Chrono. You're gonna die here, Oops. No, he didn't time walk far enough away. And that's a misplay there. Chrono on top of Jigglesworth, and then the time walk was about, yeah, this range, as opposed to away from the Timbersaw in order to not die right there. That's a costly slip-up. As he is working on that Battle Fury, and any setbacks, again, costly. Also has not gone in for treads. And that just makes the choice even greedier. Got Swagmaster lurking back here. Not sure if they're aware that he's there. Arachnobot. And this could be another death here on the Faceless Void, but they're not going on him. Not sure what's going on. And Oops will get out of there. I think they went on the wrong target. They will get a kill, almost no doubt. No, the Moonlight Shadow gonna help get him away. Now trying to turn this around. 30 seconds until Chronosphere. Global silence. Good timing. And the surviving silencer helps turn that around.
Dire's top tower is
Zip
under
to the
attack.
low ground, and they're not going to be able to catch up to him. Once again, 2 for 0 there for Naga Stole My Bike. Even when things are going right here for the Radiant team, they're not quite as crisp as they would like to be on these pickoffs. 2 sentries are there on I'm a Princess. So if they're going to go on someone with Moonlight Shadow up, they're going to want her there. Huey going the Shadow Blade has really not been a popular choice as of late on the Shadow Fiend since the Shadow Blade nerfs. But gonna go in for it anyway. Fake's going up to the high ground, turns around with the Shadow Blade. Wants to go, really wants to go, but decides better of it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's
Up top, that
tower
tier
has
1
fallen.
will fall. And Moniker just being the bane of Oop's existence in this game. There's the leap in, the first hit bash. Still going to chase. Chronosphere is there. Support is coming in, but he needs to back out. Just a little too far. And will TP out. Not quite there in time for the poison touch.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower
Aghanim
has
Scepter
fallen.
closing in on that for yeah.
Dire's bottom
And
tower
tier
is
1
under
should be
attack.
going to them as well.
Radiant's top tower is under
Not
attack.
going to hold it without a fortify.
Radiant structures are fortified.
You're not going to outright click the tiny
Dire's bottom
on a tower.
has fallen.
Timber Chain in there on Huey. Shadow Blade away. Are they going to try and turn this around? There's a global silence. The ult blows up I'm a Princess. Arachnobot in a lot of trouble. Misses the raise though. He can zip out. No, now the disruption, no help. Everybody's backed up and that's the death of Huey. But that'll kill Arachnobot in too close. They're going to try and turn this around on Moniker. He's getting low. He's silenced up. Little more. One or two more right clicks. One more now. There you go. Killing spree there the way in the Norseman. That's 4 for 1 the trade. 15-8 now the score. As Naga stole my bike. Very slowly working
Top
towards a
tower is
lead.
under attack.
And now I think this is the first time we solidly say there is a lead for Naga stole my
Radiant's
bike.
top tower has fallen.
But with the towers you don't really see it in terms of gold. But with the
Radiant's
greedier
top
lineup
tower
that they
is under
have, the
attack.
score being 15-8, gotta be happy with it. Battle Fury done on Oops. On top of the Midas. Would have liked it sooner. There's Treads as well. But could be worse. Aghanim Scepter a similar
Radiant's
time.
middle tower is
Almost the
under
same
attack.
time there for Yas on both sides, accelerating their farm at the same points. With those key items. Gonna TP down bottom, push that out. Not sure what he's talking about there. And we see Flash farming it up. Check out the
Radiant's bottom
net worth
tower is
board.
under attack.
It is, yeah, on top right now. As he does have a pretty decent lead. The zip in. Not able to pick him up, but they are able to find Jigglesworth. Silencer going to be the sacrifice. Keeps Faceless Void up and running at least. Rod of
Radiant's middle
Atos actually
tower is
doesn't go
under
in for the
attack.
Bloodstone. Very surprising considering he had a good start.
Shadows.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And the slow is 60%, so inside a Chronosphere instead of... Oh, as we have a Global Silence down bottom. Double dusted. Chrono up. No, gets craggied. Yeah, trying to get away. Uh-oh, oops. Up too far, goes down. Arachnobot picking up the kill, zips on out. Boki with the double kill. Yeah, we'll get away. Timber Chain in. Chakram as well. That should be the death of the Norseman. Stay alive for a long time, and the Shallow Grave actually back up. He's level 11. Actually doesn't have weave. That is a bit of an oversight. I would not really like putting it off that long. The Boki dominating spree now. Another one fight, though they did lose. Oops. Used to be a common build to put off weave until level 10, get a 10-11. Here we don't even have weave at level 10 or 11. It's had a lot of buffs, so you can argue for it much earlier and not delaying it, but at the very least have that 10 and 11 points. Weave's very strong now. Base duration to 24 across the board with 1 armor per second. So it ticks up to plus 24 armor or minus 24. Yasha is the next choice here on Well, oops, going in for a Helm of the Dominator in all likelihood. Could be a Mask of Madness, but I don't think this would be the game for it. Timber Chain in. Uses the Rod of Atos, but the Time Walk, and that should be just fine. 8 seconds until another Time Walk. I don't think they have the burst. Trying to sandwich him. Chronosphere. Oh, zipped into the Chronosphere. Needs to just get out of there. Global Silence as well. Using all the ults to disengage from this one. Oops, going back in. That's a bit over-aggressive. Going to go down. No. Yes, he does. Had a lot of backtracks there, but ends up paying for it regardless. Gets the kill with the arrow. Boki in trouble, though. Does not have leap once again. Pulled back in. Still alive. Will go down ultimately. Ends up being 4 for 3. A triple kill, though, for Huey. No one dealing with him. Don't forget about the Shadow Fiend. BKB was up. And that's the 10-second charge used in that fight. Split push coming out there of Huey trying to chase, but it is tiny, so he's quick moving. Also went for phase boots. Oops, going to need to pick his spots a little more carefully. A couple avoidable, kind of needless deaths in the last couple fights. Gonna put him, keep him at that deficit with But Naga's still in a good position. Checking out the charts, pretty close. They've got a decent advantage on experience. They've brought back the gold to a very close number. Oh, Chronosphere holding almost on nothing, but now that will actually zone out the rest of the team. Can they get in time? Oops, toss back. Will Time walk back to his team? The disruption going to be enough to get away. There's the weave. Not the best set of targets, but a lot of minus armor on Arachnobot. Arrow will land on I'm a Princess. Will that be a smart idea to go in? Avalanche goes out, holds him back. That'll just be a nice pick up there on the Crystal Maiden with the arrow. Behind them, gonna walk into Moniker. Time walk up. Rest of the team far away. Loses half his health, but he will survive. And it is Helm of the Dominator. Kills the creep, though. Doesn't pick up one to stack. Goes into the trees to TP out. Tries to throw an arrow to pick him off if he didn't immediately TP out, but it's a creep instead. Checking out his item progression, just an Ogre Club, not a whole lot on him. 2,700 gold left. Gonna be going in for the BKB in all likelihood. Should be a Scythe of Ice next on Arachnobot, but could be a Lincoln's. I don't think this is a game for it though. Double damage picked up. This game is looking a bit like game 1, where it was a greedier draft for the side of Naga, and both sides ending up in just kind of a passive farm war. Though there are a lot of kills for this point in the game. So I guess it's not super passive, but ends up being, you know, the game's not really in danger of ending anytime soon. Both sides getting their farm. And I do feel that will end up favoring the Dire team. Yasha is next here on Oops, but I do feel he needs a BKB. Trying to beat down on Tiny as a melee carry is not going to work very well if you don't have that BKB. Especially when you're a hero that relies on a lot of attack speed like you do want to do on the Faceless Void. Gonna get all those craggy procs. Okay, with the full BKB completed, we got the mechanism there on Norseman. And that'll be a blade mail picked up
Damage.
for the timber saw. Tends to be a reasonable item, but doesn't help you if you're locked up in Chronosphere and can't activate it. Moonlight Shadow used, they're going to look and try and find somebody here. Oh, yeah, no, gets on out of there. Just going to steal the Ancient Stack, which does hurt them quite a bit. Arrow thrown out. Lands on I'm a Princess. How did that thread the needle? Went through everybody, I'm a Princess, saying, why me? Goes right between Yeah and Swagmaster. You do have a Ghost Scepter there on Swagmaster. Once again, not going to help you if you're in Chronosphere and can't activate it, but will be nice against the Shadow Fiend if he tries to go on you. Provided you're not getting raised, of course. Net worth board, it is still, yeah, right out on top. Manta style done, 1,800 gold in the bank. Likely Assault Cuirass going to be the next standard item out of him. We'll be going for the full Manta style as Oops.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It will help because he does need a bit more HP to bulk up. Huey catching up, doing a bit of damage, going to try and TP out. Not going to be able to stop him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Working on a 4 staff is I'm a princess almost there. Swagmaster. Nothing in the works. You see, it has really slowed up. Not a whole lot happening in the last while. And the thing that is worrying is you've got 2 big right clickers out of the Faceless Void and the Shadow Fiend, and it's pretty much just the Tiny. We have Storm Spirit, but he's going to have a rough time. During Global Silence, not really going to be able to do anything. So really trying to initiate, if you aren't able to do it on the silencer, and even then, if you've got a dazzle there, how can you? Get a shallow grave, you're going to survive long enough to get off that global silence, and then you're in no man's land. As we now have a pause. There's the Hyperstone, so it will be the Assault Cuirass. Closing in on the sheep is the Storm. Almost at 2,700, so looks at about 1,300 off of that. Should be a Shiva's next for Timbersaw. Has got the plate mail, but quite a ways off of finishing it. $2,600 gold sitting there on Huey. Oops, with the full Manta style on him. Wait and see what the next item is. Again, he needs that BKB. That should be the next item. Looks like we're ready to go. Wouldn't be a terrible time for a smoke up, but that's not what they're gathering for.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like it's a 5-man push down mid, looking to push this tier 2. The toss in. Shadow Blade away. Doesn't take any damage, avoids all of it. Gonna have to back up. A Rod of Atos, there's the BKB. And the Sanity's Requiem, but there's no help. Where is everybody?
Tower has fallen.
Huey should go down now, and that's it. Really late, should see a Chronosphere any second, I would expect. There we go. Very nicely done. Gets one. The Arachnobot down. Craggy doing work, but still going to go down. Boki picking up the kill there. Global Silence now throwing out. Look out. Oops, is Shallow Graves. Gonna man up, take out. And that's 5 for 1 the trade. They throw everything at Huey, and they get turned around. Oops, jumping in with the Chronosphere, and that's more than enough. you're gonna smack talk, at least get your grammar right. Oh yeah.
My gratitude.
Radiant's top tower
And
is
that's a
under
big,
attack.
big win. We saw that 3 to 4K advantage that we saw on for a long time. Now going to drop down to less than
Radiant's
1,000.
middle tower is under attack.
Gets the last hit on this tower, could jump ahead. There we go.
Radiant's middle tower
Closing
has
it even
fallen.
further, and there we go. Faceless Void up on top now in terms of the net worth board, 3,800. Demon Edge, and that's a Blink Dagger on the Dazzle. I'm waiting, and I'm waiting to see what Oops goes for. I think it should be a BKB, but I think it will be a Butterfly. And there's the Talisman of Evasion, so it is going to be the Butterfly as we have action over here at the Roche Pit. Moniker
Radiant's
walking
top
to his
tower is
death.
under attack.
Daedalus done.
From the bottom of my soul.
On Huey. There's the Eagle Song as well. That means 900 away now is Oops from that full Butterfly. What that does mean, though, is I feel he can't go on Tiny in the Chronosphere. At least until they've killed off the other heroes. Because it's going to be a huge waste to be stunned up repeatedly.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Salt Cuirass done for That'll help out immensely. More action, the Shadow Blade in. A bit awkward, but they trap in Swagmaster inside the trees. And now Huey trapped in by the illusions.
Bless your soul.
Butterfly incoming for Oops. Next will be a Satanic, in all likelihood. If he's going to forgo the
Radiant's
BKB this
bottom
long,
tower
he's just
is
not going to
under
go for it,
attack.
I do expect. And doesn't
Radiant's
get the
bottom
last
tower
right
has
click on the
fallen.
tower. Come on. You had 3 of you whacking away. The situation rather dire for the Radiant team. 12k gold advantage for Naga Stole My Bike. Over 20,000. The experience advantage. Not a whole lot you can do when you're this far behind a
Dire's
team with a
top tower
Faceless
is
Void,
under attack.
who is on top of the net worth
Dire
board.
structures are fortified.
They are riding so heavily on this Tiny right now. And when it's one hero and it's one that doesn't go for BKB, yeah, you can survive being, say, sheeped up and you're not going to be bursted down during that time, but if you happen to get hit by an arrow, you can still be poison touched through all of it. You're going to be silenced. I'm not sure. It's just a lot to deal with as pretty much the only dangerous hero on the other team. We've got the smoke. They're looking to make something happen. Feel this is a good choice. They do need to, but the illusion's coming through, going to spot them out. And that goes awry. Now they could pick up Moniker. The stuns are there, but they have to be careful not to get caught. The leap in,
Radiant structures are fortified.
whacking away. Chronosphere used. Going to bring down Moniker. Craggy. Frostbite. A lot of trouble. A lot of damage towards Oops. Good time walk out of there. Will survive. Yeah, also will survive to this point. Oops tries to go in on Swagmaster, who will then use his Ghost Scepter to get away. Arrow goes out, does not hit. They're still able to pick up the Shadow Demon. There's a time walk in, and they're going to call it right there. GG, the call. Naga stole my bike, taking game 2 as well. They'll take this series 2-0.
Dire victory.
That'll be it. Feel like something really had to happen there in the mid-game for the Radiant team and weren't able to quite make it happen. Team fights ended up going the way of Naga stole my bike, and it just rolled from there. Every fight seemed to go their way. That'll be it. And that's been a joint Dota League matchup between Naga stole my bike and a team name I don't remember because they didn't set up their team name this game. I've been Zoran for Terrible Damage. Hope you enjoyed it.